Gubbins, definition and meaning. Gubbins is a playful and somewhat quirky British English word that refers to objects or bits and pieces, often of little importance or scattered in a disorganized fashion. It can be used to describe gadgets, trinkets, or even random items you might find lying around, such as miscellaneous parts or useless things. Another meaning of gubbins relates to nonsensical talk or useless information. Etymology and history. The word gubbins has an interesting origin that dates back to the 16th century. The word's roots are traced to Old English, where it originally referred to fish parings or scraps. Over time, the meaning shifted to describe a variety of small, insignificant objects or pieces of something. Here's a breakdown of its etymology. 1. Old English gobbet. One possible origin is the word gobbet, which meant a small chunk or morsel of food. Gobbet referred to small fragments, eventually broadening into the general sense of bits and pieces. 2. 17th century usage. By the 17th century, gubbins had come to be used in a broader sense, describing miscellaneous things, often in a cluttered or disorganized way. Interestingly, the word also became part of slang, referring to mechanical parts or gadgets, especially pieces whose purpose might not be immediately clear, leading to its use in describing random or unnecessary objects. The usage in modern language. In modern British English, gubbins is still used in everyday speech, particularly in informal or humorous contexts. It's the kind of word you might use when you're describing a drawer full of random items, such as spare screws, old keys, or forgotten gadgets, or when you're referring to nonsensical or overly complicated explanations. For example, my desk drawer is full of gubbins I'll probably never need. That's just a load of gubbins. None of it makes sense. The word carries a casual, almost whimsical tone, making it a great example of how British slang can be both descriptive and entertaining. Cultural impact. While gubbins hasn't gained as much international popularity as some British slang terms, it's still a recognizable and endearing part of the lexicon in the UK. It has been used in literature, media, and everyday conversation for centuries, adding a lighthearted touch to descriptions of clutter or nonsensical situations. In particular, the term is often used to describe gadgets or trinkets, small, sometimes unnecessary devices or objects. Miscellaneous clutter, items that don't seem to serve a purpose but are kept around anyway. Nonsense or rambling speech. When someone is talking too much without making much sense, their words might be referred to as gubbins. Gubbins in technology and gadgets. In recent times, the word gubbins has seen some use in the tech world to describe small, often confusing or miscellaneous components of machines or devices. For example, someone might refer to the internal parts of a gadget as all the gubbins inside. The idea of gubbins as miscellaneous, confusing parts fits perfectly with modern technological devices, which often contain countless small pieces that are hard to identify or understand without specialized knowledge. Psychological and social reflection. The use of the word gubbins can also reflect how people feel about clutter or disorganization in their lives. It captures that sense of being surrounded by things that don't quite have a place, but still exist within one's personal space. The word also taps into the humor people find in dealing with everyday chaos, from junk drawers full of odds and ends to random thoughts or information that don't quite fit into the larger picture. In a way, gubbins can be seen as a term that reflects human behavior in the face of clutter and complexity, emphasizing a lighthearted, almost whimsical response to the disorganization of life. Conclusion. Gubbins is a delightful example of how a word can evolve over time and find continued relevance in modern language. It serves as both a practical and humorous way to describe the random, often unnecessary bits and pieces we accumulate in life, whether they be physical objects or nonsensical information. Its playful tone makes it a great addition to casual conversation, particularly when you're trying to describe the clutter or confusion that surrounds us all.